I wish he would have said something. I don't know if he's worse. I don't know if he's just been practicing too long. I don't know. I don't know if he's sick. About the reasoning for that. That was the first thing like we had in 2020.
Well, even though you say not chaos, you can say that.
Oh, they were sniping each other.
Well, not. But did you think that in some cases we had? I mean, I wrote down some of these quotes and
the superlatives. Right?
Donald Trump in particular, calling him the worst president ever.
Right.
And that nobody respects him. The world leaders don't respect him. I mean, what did you make of that?
I got the impression that Trump had one goal tonight, and that was to convince Americans that we are living in the worst country. We are embarrassed at the border. There are criminals crossing. They're taking our jobs. This is the worst president. Your country is in the defensive, right? So he was always trying to bring up, President Biden, bringing up the fact that Russia's advance is going to go past the borders, after Kyiv. And they want to establish the former Soviet Union, but that never really caught fire. He would mention it and then he'd move on to something else. They were jumping around a lot. And talked about before how it's a question about January 6th, and instead he pivoted and he said, on January 6th, we had a great border. We had lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. We're respected all over the world. Not necessarily what that question was about, but I think both of the men did that a lot tonight.
Now, I just for times.
Yes.
What was the
Trump's remarks?
Yeah. What was the point former President Trump was trying to make in bringing her up, and she's not even running for president?
No, but he is trying to show that the National Guard could have been called out, but Nancy Pelosi, in his words, I'm not saying this is true or not, but he was saying Nancy Pelosi declined the National Guard, and he's blaming it on her, right? So that's why she came out. Yes, her daughter is a filmmaker. Yes, she has done a documentary. So also about democracy, right? I'm looking for that question right now. If somebody else can find it real fast about the end of democracy.
Well, that's what I was just going to bring that up anyway. In the Capitol, what do you say to those who say you violated your oath? And then Trump said, on January 6th, we were respected all over the world. After January 6th, we were like, people thought we were like a bunch of stupid people. That's what he said.
Again, the diversion. Right? A bit there. Now, he also, which he has said that in the past before, which we know is false, but because we have the video of it, we have the original video here at VOA. So, the one thing I miss in all these debates, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, just because I really wish we had what we in the business call chyrons at the bottom of a screen, right? Just crawls.
Fact-checking.
Fact-checking. Immediate fact-checking. Exactly. Wouldn't that be great to have real-time fact-checking on every single debate?
Yeah, it would be hard, but it could
even show this, and they could even show a graphic. Because as viewers, as listeners, we question ourselves. Like, I'm questioning myself. Did that really happen like that? Did I miss that? Am I not remembering that right? So we do need the facts for these debates.
Staying with the whole democracy, debate that they had, I think it's fair that lawmakers and President Trump, then president of courts, said, no, you don't get to...
On in the courts. That he didn't agree with, right? He did say that.
And what he also said, Trump, and patriots, I noticed.
Yeah, he said, I didn't say that. I said...
Sniping, both basically talking about the conviction, and then former President Trump, one of the low moments of this debate, if there's anything like that.
We talked about respect before the debate actually started. They were big into
contrast in terms of what they were saying, the issues were in terms of what the other person was doing on it. You know, one would say they were the best and the other was the worst. I mean, on every single issue. And they would go after immigration. They said Biden was the worst ever on immigration and Trump was the best. More policy discussion and more discussion of what they were going to do rather than criticizing each other's. Biden spent a lot of time defending his record, and so did that about, you know, Trump and thought there was going to be more, and there just wasn't traditional stump speeches and type January 6th, and the issue are not paid by the foreign countries into the Treasury of the United States, as he is saying. They're actually paid by U.S. consumers. And when Mitt Romney made a comment about something Obama had said, and the moderator said that's not...
Right? I mean, and then the fact that, you know, former President Trump is our only president who is a convicted felon, right? But yet Biden only said, and the only person on this stage who is a convicted criminal felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And that was it. That I really thought he would make a huge deal about that.
Where do you think President Biden looked pretty strong compared to Trump when we were talking about
do well in abortion? And actually, no, not immigration. I don't think that Professor Belt is saying I missed new policy, new ideas, something that we could, you know, as a journalist, we could lead with tomorrow. You know, and say, hey, Americans, we have hope, you know, because this is going to happen if this man is reelected, or this is going to happen if the former president is reelected, right?
Yes.
So we don't really have that tangible item tonight. Or items. I would love items.
Let me just throw that back to Professor Bell. Professor Bell, this is Chinagua for here. I mean, there are still many undecided American voters, and has been noted at the top of this. The polls are very close after tonight's debate.
Well, as I said earlier, I don't find it nice. That might be the thing that gets taken away, that Joe Biden is just not up to it. And I think that might be something that does convince enough people. A few thousand people in swing states could make that big of a difference. And we know that for undecided voters, as with the candidates, the people who, you know, are strong partisans or are strong policy interests, they decide pretty early on. But when it gets down to it, and those final people, it's the candidate. And if that dominant characteristic from tonight onward is that Joe Biden is just not up to the job, that can be really detrimental.
I want to throw this question out to you, Todd, but also to Carolyn about black voters. I did talk about black voters, and everybody knows that, you know, most black voters voted for President Biden last time around, but President Biden said I was not going to run again, but until I saw Charlottesville and people coming out of the woods carrying swastikas, and he said, would you score that one as a win for Biden?
It seems like it was, and I think that in our world...
The most admired, he said.
Yeah, most admired, most respected. That was the time, you know, when it seemed like he had a little energy there at that point. Memories when it comes to politics.